Alright, so my speech is how to get recruited again. So let me take you back to my senior year. I was an under-recruited basketball player who just like wanted to play at the next level. Like it was always a dream of mine, something from the beginning of high school that I wanted to do. And by no means were coaches like busting down my door or like on me, you know. And like I just wasn't sure about the whole process, what to do, like where to reach out, how to reach out, all that. So like I just didn't have much experience, you know. It was my first time around. I reached out to a few schools, didn't get much of a response. A few smaller schools had reached out to me. They offered me, but nothing that was really calling my name that I really wanted to do. All of my friends and classmates were like starting to commit, starting to know where they were going, if it was to play or not. But they all knew, you know, and that kind of started to affect me a little bit. And so finally high school ends. I still have yet to commit. It's summer break, the clock's running down, the fall semester's approaching, and like I knew I just had to figure it out. So I got organized, I switched what I was looking for and like how I was doing things. Started emailing JUCOs and made sure like the email was like what coaches wanted to see. And I happened to stumble upon Heston College. I saw the similarities in what I was looking for. Emailed Coach Gallen, and within the next week I was on a visit. So we all know how hard it is to get recruited out of high school, especially if you're on like a top 100 player. I mean, but we all found a way, you know. So if your high school was a long, stressful process like mine, and would like to avoid that same problem, I'm going to share a few things that hopefully make finding another school easier, like after Heston. So let's start with preparation. So step one, practice, prepare, and showcase. So like to play at the next level, you have to be good enough. If you're not good enough, then there's no point. Like you're not going to make it. So there's like a little thing like in the basketball community, I guess, that says like it takes 10,000 hours to master something. So like you have to put the time and effort in to be good at it, I guess. And then second, you have to showcase. You know, you have to be out there, I guess. Like you have to play the games, you have to get the minutes, you have to get the looks. And a helpful way is to make a highlight video. Actually, I have an example of a highlight video right here.
Oh, yes, sir.
So that was a good highlight video because like it said his name, like had his information. It showed what he did well. It showed things that he's good at. You know, it didn't show like his bad plays. So yeah, that was a good highlight video. Thank you, Trey.
No problem, I got you.
So practice is obvious, but what's not as clear is like having to research your schools. So step two is research. You have to know what you want in a school, like enrollment size, location, cost. Like those are definitely big things. Like for me, I know I wanted a small school, like so the classrooms were smaller. You know, like I knew everybody. Location, that's important to a lot of people. Like what's around them, if there's things to do, which obviously is not important if you're here. But like cost, I know nobody wants to spend a fortune on school. You know, and there's tons of things you could look at. There's the type of school. I like this a Mennonite school. You know, there's basketball things or things that are related to your sport, like who's on the coaching staff, play style, like if it's a successful school, like nobody wants to go to like a losing program, you know. And there's just all kinds of stuff that you could look at. But like once you kind of figure out what you want in a school, like it's time to really like go for it. Step three is to reach out. You want to like reach out to coaches and make sure you're doing that in the right way. You want to create communication lines with coaches and recruiters. If that's either phone call or email or phone call, they're both effective ways. I'm going to show you a proper email. So right here is a sample email. It starts off, it makes it very personal. So he talks about the school and the dedication from the athletes and like the academic side. It introduces himself, so like it kind of so he remembers his name. It gives him stats, and that's a big thing. You wanna give like stats on your strong points. So you wanna show like what makes you a good prospect for the school. So if you're smart, like you wanna show your test scores, your GPA, stuff like that. And you also wanna showcase your like athletic stats. So if that's like, this is a baseball email. So he said 85 miles per hour fastball, like that's what he's showcasing, you know. For basketball, maybe points per game or something like that. He also showed that he's a top 5 prospect, top 5% of his class with a 4.0 GPA. That's usually pretty impressive, like especially to see as a college coach. Then you want to end it with like a future plan, I guess. So you want to like either say like, hey, I'm coming out for a visit and I'd love to meet, or you have a game this time if they want to come out and see you, or you have a tournament coming up. You just want to give them a time where they could like see you or meet you, or even if you want to set up a call, maybe you could ask to set up a call, or if there's any time you could, if any time they have available. And then finally at the end, you want to leave your contact information. You can see how he has plenty of stuff, all that. A good recap of everything he talked about in the thing. He leaves his GPA again, which is important, and his phone number and social media. So, and then another thing, like I said, you could do it through calls. And for calls, it's important you want to find a quiet place. You don't want to have loud interruptions in the background when you're talking to them. You want to be able to stay focused. You should call between 6 and 9 p.m. because that's usually when coaches are available. Like they're out of school, they're out of practice or whatever, usually by 6. And then finally, you want to be confident in what you're saying. Like, nobody wants a scared athlete, you know? So, in conclusion, today I informed you guys on how to get to the next level through being prepared, knowing what you're looking for, and reaching out to coaches. So, as you can see, like we made it to Heston. I made it to Heston with these steps, and this is only a stepping stone for most of us. And I'm not gonna lie to you and say it's gonna be easy to get out of here or to get on to the next level if that's what you're looking for. Only 14% of D1 basketball players were JUCO transfers this year. And that's not a lot, but like if it was easy, then everybody would do it. So the odds aren't in your favor, but if they were, where would the fun be?